Hello friends, this is Mig Jimenez, and in this video I will explain you how to use the AMO acrylic range of colors. Some modelers ask me about how to fix some problems that they find when they are using our paints. So in this video I will explain you how to use them and how the problems appear and how to fix them. Painting with acrylics is more a matter of technique than about the product. Anyway, we will use an acrylic color and we will apply over different surfaces to see how it works. First, we will apply a primer over the plastic pieces that we will use with one shot, and we will mix the color with acrylic thinner, but also with the Transparator, that is a completely new product. We will use a plastic spoon that will represent our plastic kits, and we will see how the product works on it. Thank you, and let's go! The first thing that we must do with our acrylic colors is to shake it very well. The small stirring ball that contains each bottle will help us to shake it very well. Just drop the paint directly in your airbrush and it will be ready for painting. Let's see how to paint in the brown way. Probably many of you have suffered this kind of problem, and this is because maybe you are painting with the acrylic AMO range like the Tamiya or Mr. Hobby paints. Those paints are not acrylic, are more like a kind of lacquer. This is why the big difference. To work with the AMO acrylic range means to change our mind completely, especially if we are comparing with the application of Tamiya or Mr. Hobby paints. Like you can see, when we are using AMO acrylic range, we must apply the color very smoothly in very soft layers. This is because first we need to break the superficial tension, because this is pure acrylic made with water base. So this is why the color don't fix well over a plastic surface that usually is a bit oily, while the Tamiya or Mr. Hobby paints, because are lacquer bases, can fit and fix very well over any plastic surface directly. So the first point is to break the superficial tension with a very soft layer and let dry, and continue applying soft layer until you are covering the whole surface with the color. Don't forget that the main good thing that have those acrylic colors is that they are non-toxic. They are totally healthy, and you can paint in your room, in your kitchen, in front of your children without any problem, when you cannot do that with the Tamiya or Mr. Hobby paints, because you need to use a strong lacquer thinner. So this is something to keep in mind if we want to choose this kind of paints. The spoon in the left side is the correct weight of application, and you can see that it's very smooth and nice, while the right side is the brown way. Let's see how the colors works over a primary surface, in that case with one shot primer, which is a very good primer. We will use the turquoise green, which is a satin color, not matte and not glossy, and we will see how it works with different methods of application. We will mix it with both Transparator and acrylic thinner. The acrylic thinner is the basic thinner for our range of acrylic. Don't mix it with water, must be acrylic thinner, because it has a special composition to make the color more fluid, while the Transparator is a new product to create transparencies in our colors, especially if you want to work with the black and white technique. The surface of the one shot is extremely smooth and always paint well. I recommend you for beginners and also for professionals. Let's apply the color in the brown way, like we usually do with Tamiya or Mr. Hobby. Like you can see, the color is covering very fast, but this not means that we are applying the color in the right way. As you can see, the final look is getting very glossy, while I told you that the color is completely satin, so something is going wrong. Of course, thanks to the primer, the color looks nice and looks glossy. We can use that in our benefit if we want, but it's not the right way. Now it's time for the right way of application. Like you can see, the application must be very smooth, in very soft layers, trying to break the superficial tension in the beginning. This will provide us the right texture of the paint, not glossy and not matte. And also we will avoid many problems like the small craters that appear in the paint when you are trying to cover at once, or like the orange skin that sometimes appear. Both examples together, in the left one, the right way, and in the right side, the brown way. Let's try a different kind of color. In that case, it's a very matte dark rust color. We will mix it with approximately around 30% of acrylic thinner and the rest of painting. Mix well in the airbrush and let's go for painting. One more time, start applying a very soft layer to break the superficial tension, even if you apply it before the one-shot primer. Even if you can apply the color directly out of the bottle, I recommend you to mix it with thinner if you want a smoother surface and less problems. But like you saw before, you can work directly with the color without any kind of problem. The thinner will keep the original properties of the color, so if the color was matte, the final look will be completely matte, like we can see here, very smooth and totally matte. Also, the thinner will help prevent the nozzle from getting stuck. Let's see the difference by mixing our paints with the Transparator. Like we made before with the acrylic thinner, drop directly the Transparator on your airbrush, approximately at 30% and the rest of paint. Of course, I recommend you to use a dosifier to do it in a more appropriate way if you are not an expert modeler. One more time, start applying the color like we explained before. Very soft layer to break the superficial tension, avoiding to cover the whole spoon at once. The right application will prevent to appear some mistakes or problems, like the small craters because the excess of accumulation of paint. Remember one more time that this is acrylic and it's a totally different product than a lacquer paint or enamels. Of course, by using this kind of paints, need to be more patient than when we are using another kind of paints, but in another hand, we are saving our health and we are avoiding bad smell in our room, in our house, and other kind of secondary problems. So this is up to you. Of course, if you can paint in a balcony or in an exterior place, it's not a problem, but inside home is the best option. Well, this is the first example where we used acrylic thinner mixed in at 30% with the color, and as you can see, the surface is very matte and smooth. This one in the right is the mixture with a Transparator with a 30% and the paint, and as you can see, it's a bit more glassy and satin than the other one. Personally, I prefer this one. And this is exactly the same using Transparator, but applied in a very brown way. As you can see, many craters and very imperfections in the surface. In all examples, we use 1.5 kilograms of pressure in our compressor and 10 centimeters of distance. Remember that in the first examples, we used the color without any kind of primer directly over the plastic surface. In the 3 and 4, we used the color directly over the primer, but without any kind of thinner or Transparator. Number 5 and 6, we used thinner and Transparator over a primer surface using the right method of painting. And finally, the 7 is 2 bad examples of a brown application using Transparator and the right dilution, but in a brown way. Well, that's all guys, I hope you like it. Like you can see, those colors can be very professional, very clean and very nice, but you need to know how to apply them in your models. I hope you like it, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you, bye bye.